Okay, here I have circles, and inside those circles I have another circle, and inside those circles I got another circle and more circles. Okay, here's a Venn diagram of numbers. So we have real numbers, which are all the numbers that can be found on a continuous number line. If I were to draw a number line that went on forever, you'd be able to find all these numbers on that number line. So those are real numbers. And you might be thinking, wait, can't all numbers be found on a number line? I mean, like, right? But you haven't learned about the number I when you get older. Okay, so these are real numbers. They can be found on the number line. Then we have rational numbers, which are all numbers that can be represented by fractions. Like 6 over 2, that's just 3. Or 5 over 4, and whatnot. All numbers that can be represented by fractions. And then we have irrational numbers, which are numbers that cannot be represented by fractions, like pi. And the reason they can't be represented by fractions is because a lot of times these things go on for infinity and they don't repeat. They don't have the same repeating numbers behind the decimal. So we can't represent them in any way by a fraction because those have a repeating place. Fractions have a repeating place. And that's the same thing with pi and square root of 2 and 10, 3. So these are irrational numbers. And then we have integers, which are rational numbers because all these numbers can be represented by a fraction. But not all fractions are integers, just the ones that can represent integers. And integers are all the negative numbers and all the positive whole numbers, the ones that aren't mixed numbers. Okay, that's what integers are. All the non-mixed numbers, like 3, but 3.5 is not an integer because it needs to be whole. -3 is an integer because it is whole. But if it was -3.5, it wouldn't be an integer because it's mixed. And whole numbers are just the positive integers. So whole numbers are integers. They're just the positive ones. And then we have natural numbers. And natural numbers are just the whole numbers excluding 0. Whole numbers have the number 0 in them, but natural numbers don't. They don't have the number 0. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Going on for infinity, but not including 0 because they hate 0. They're discriminatory against 0. We got to change that. We got to fight for 0. But anyways, yeah, that's how it works. So we have real numbers, which are all the numbers on number line. For you, that's all the numbers ever. Rational numbers, which are all the numbers that can be represented by fractions, and irrational numbers, which are numbers that cannot be represented by fractions. Integers, which are rational numbers, but not all rational numbers are integers. Integers are rational numbers because every single integer can be represented by a fraction, and integers include the negative numbers and the positive whole numbers. And whole numbers are all the positive integers, including 0, and natural numbers are all the whole numbers except for 0. So take a good look at this and go to sleep. I mean, stay in school.